we have a meeting coming up. I think Jay needs to take a step back and understand that monetary policy on its own isn't going to solve all these problems. It's going to have to combine with fiscal policy. It does no good for the Fed to drain liquidity,
right.
And at the same time, the administration is pouring it back in. That isn't policy. That's chaos. And the reason I put that in my note this morning is, what we're getting is a dose of chemo, and the first rule, for an oncologist when you're giving chemo is not to give a dose so large that you actually kill the patient.
Right.
We're getting a harsh message, from the banking system. They've already broken a few banks, and if they keep pressing harder, they're going to probably break something bigger. The financial plumbing is screaming that there's a problem here.
But isn't that what they wanted? I know it sounds counterintuitive to an average person watching. Give you an example. I saw a tweet over the weekend where somebody said they were at Midway Airport and the place was packed, had a lot of millennials, and that the Fed should hike rates 100 basis points. Like there's this perverse idea out there that any signs of prosperity is too much right now, and that they should be breaking everything. And that in his mind, Jay Powell would be heroic, at least among the country club set.
There are geopolitical forces in play that we have to consider. Look at China. The only issue that gets bipartisan support in this Congress is the pushback on China and the fact that we're going to reshore our manufacturing activity and critical supply chains. That's a national security imperative. If you accept that, then you have to accept the inflation that comes along with it, because China was a deflationary force. 2%, forget about it. We're going to have to learn to live with something higher. And there's actually an added benefit to that, because if inflation is just a bit higher, all right, the nominal wages that go up, the debt is cheaper, the nominal wages go up, the taxes go up, it helps pay off the debt.
And when the Fed was the Federal Reserve Act had 3% as the initial benchmark anyway. And I don't know where 2% came in or why it became universal. It's interesting when these things happen.
I didn't know that.
And we were under that for so long, right? And then for a while it sounded like, that Powell would have been okay with us being over it for a while. And now he's in this zone, right? Maybe he'll come out of this zone on Wednesday.
I think he's got to make up for some previous mistakes. But, they started off with two mandates, price stability, and employment. But now they have all these other mandates. They've added, climate change, diversity.
Right.
They can't do all this. They cannot do this on the law.
It was either the Federal Reserve Act or the Humphrey Hawkins. One of them said 3%. Let me ask you, it's been a while since we talked. You were a little bit cautious, for lack of a better word.
It's hard not to be.
But the market, one of the things you and I learned, and everyone who's been in this market 20, 30 years, is that there's a message to the market that you've got to respect. And the market has been saying it wants to go higher, given a green light.
It clearly does. And, in the last segment, you were talking about Microsoft. It's just a monster quarter. And even on bad news, some stocks have actually gone up on that. Look, where I'm really bullish is the other side of July. We get to July, things could really take off, because when we get to July, we'll be on the other side of the debt ceiling confrontation.
Right.
And portfolio and fund managers like yours truly, we're going to be looking at 2024, which is going to look a lot better than it is now. So the glass is half full.
All right.
I'll give
Love
you
to hear it. Love to hear it. Thanks a lot, my man. Appreciate it.